In this video, I'm going to show you the hardest part about losing weight that nobody talks about and how to get over it. Okay, for the last 8 years, I've decided to do a few things that's resulted in some pretty dramatic changes in my body, and I've been able to maintain those results ever since. Number 1, I stopped eating dessert every day. I used to eat brown sugar, cinnamon flavored Pop-Tarts every day. Number 2, I stopped snacking in between meals. Number 3, I started eating better food. Number 4, I reduced my meal frequency. And number 5, I started working out more. And you can sum this up by saying that I ate less and I moved more. And while that's technically true, it's not always that easy. Weight loss is simple, but it's not easy for a lot of people. In fact, it's hard. It's really hard. Saying just eat less and move more also isn't very helpful because that's been the default weight loss model for decades now. That still gets repeated up to this day by your trainer, influencers, and so-called experts. It's just too big of a blanket statement, and it won't work without optimizing your hormones and upregulating your fat-burning mechanisms through proper lifestyle choices, which I talk a lot about in my channel. It's not just eat less and move more. It's not that simple. But there's often one thing that gets overlooked that throws a wrench in people's efforts to lose weight. In my opinion, the hardest part about weight loss is behavior change. Breaking bad habits and changing the stories you've been telling yourself. That's the hardest part because you are literally going against a lifetime of eating habits and certain things that you tell yourself when it comes to food, like certain stories in our heads that we associate food with, and not all of them are good. When I was just starting out, for example, it was hard for me to deal with the feeling of being hungry because being hungry sucks. The next person who tells me that they like feeling hungry would be the first. And in the past, I associated the feeling of being hungry with catabolism, for example. My body is eating away at my muscles. I'm wasting away. I'm becoming weak. Give me my protein shake. And that's how people get suckered into snacking and never skipping a meal. And I have a separate video that talks about popular weight loss myths, so make sure you check it out. And I associated overeating with strength. This third trip to all-you-can-eat sushi is gonna fuel my muscles. This second plate of pasta is gonna make my squats so strong tomorrow. I mean, looking back, both of those stories are pretty silly, but it was hard for me to retrain my brain not to freak out when I felt a little hungry, especially when I started eating less frequently. The truth is, if you're trying to lose weight, you're gonna be hungry sometimes. And that's okay. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It really depends on what's causing you to feel hungry. Because there's two different types of hunger, in my opinion. The first is the hunger that we feel from a lifetime of eating habits. Like, it's been ingrained in our heads for who knows how long now that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So if you skip it, you will get hungry. Your brain sends signals through the hormone ghrelin that you need to eat something. Then there's the other type of hunger that we feel when we're in a semi-starved state because you're just cutting calories and you're eating a lot of highly processed, low-fat foods which are not satiating at all. And it's a vicious cycle, so we keep eating more of these processed snacks whenever we feel hungry. We equate hunger to even more snacking. But when I was eating these foods, it didn't really make me feel good. I had no energy, I was tired all the time, I would get hangry if I didn't get to eat. And I think you've experienced that in some way, shape, or form. I also wasn't losing weight even though I ate less and I moved more. Then I started learning more about nutrition and I discovered how important meal frequency was. And I learned how important satiety played when it comes to losing weight. I learned that what you eat and when you eat are equally as important when it comes to weight loss. And that's when I started intermittent fasting. I had to learn to wrap my head around skipping breakfast. I had to change the story in my head that I was gonna die if I skipped a meal, and that it was actually good for weight loss and it was even healing my body. I mean, that's a pretty big change in your belief and your behavior around food first thing in the morning. I mean, we're so used to just shoving a piece of toast down our throats first thing in the morning. And in order to facilitate this change in your head, you need to start small, like really small. And one of my favorite books is called Atomic Habits. Great book, by the way. You should check it out. But it's in the title itself. You need to start at an atomic level. You need to start so small that you don't even notice it. I mean, that's what atoms are. They're there. You don't notice them, but they exist. If you're new to intermittent fasting, for example, I wouldn't even start thinking about skipping breakfast right off the bat. That's like step number 10 in all of this. I would just start by eating a better breakfast instead, because there is a world of difference with how your body reacts physiologically to a piece of toast with some jam versus bacon and eggs. So I would just start with that. Change your belief and behavior from I don't have time to whip up some eggs to waking up 10 minutes earlier so you can actually make yourself a proper breakfast. When I started fasting, for example, I moved my breakfast 1 hour later. Looking back, I wouldn't even start by moving in an hour. I would move it by 10 minutes instead. Do that every day, and by the end of the week, you would have moved it by at least an hour. Do that for 4 weeks, and there's your 16-hour fasting window. You've just completely changed your behavior around breakfast. Do you see what I mean? When I was growing up, my family also didn't have a lot of money. So it was hard for me to wrap my head around the fact that it was okay not to finish all the food on my plate even though I was already full. Because growing up, I was told that I had to finish all the food on my plate. I mean, think about all those starving kids in Africa. But now, I eat a lot of highly satiating foods, and when I'm full, I stop eating. I don't feel bad if there's still food on my plate. I also used to be an emotional eater, and that is a big problem for a lot of people. We use food as a crutch, especially when we're having a bad day. We turn to food for comfort. But that's like taking 1 step forward when it comes to your weight loss goals and 2 steps back whenever you're having a bad day. In the end, you're still behind. And I really had to learn to love myself on another level in order to get over the story I was telling myself that it was okay to eat a full box of Pop-Tarts whenever I had a bad day, or that it was okay to eat a tub of ice cream in one sitting. Changing your behavior is determined by your relationship with yourself. And a lot of people, unfortunately, don't have a good relationship with themselves. So I had to start there. I had to learn to believe that I was actually worth it, that I'm worth the effort, that I deserve a better body. Because if you have a good relationship with yourself, your behavior will change. You'll automatically make better decisions. That's also how I was able to wrap my head around going to the gym for the first time. Like, people see me these days that I'm this absolute gym rat, and that's true. I love training. Like, if I'm not working, if I'm not making videos, you can usually find me at the gym. But once upon a time, if you can believe it, my brother had to drag me to the gym, kicking and screaming, because I associated a lot of negative thoughts around going to the gym. It was really intimidating. I thought people would look at me weird. People would see how weak I was. I thought people would make fun of me. But those were just stories that I made up in my own head. I was insecure about my body, and I had to reframe that story that I kept telling myself. Again, you need to start small on this. That's why I don't even recommend people go to the gym right away when they're just starting out. It's too big of a change. This is why I talk a lot about just start by going for a walk, then start aiming to get 10,000 steps every day. Especially if you've been living a pretty sedentary lifestyle. If you get 10,000 steps every day, you will notice a drastic difference in how you feel. Then I would start doing home body weight workouts. And you should check out my Lean Body Blueprint 21-day weight loss challenge if you want a proven plan on how to do this. But in either case, just keep doing home body weight workouts until you get a little bit more comfortable. Only then should you even start thinking about signing up for a gym membership. And I want you to reframe your thoughts and beliefs about working out this way. And this is a very, very important concept that you need to understand. Do it because you love your body, not because you hate it. Remember, you change best by feeling good, not by feeling bad. Celebrate the small wins. That's how you feel good. Because celebration is the bridge between tiny habits to big changes in your life. And if there's just one thing that I want you to take away from this video, celebrate tiny wins. Celebrate every good food decision. Celebrate that you went out for a walk today. Celebrate every hour that you fast. Celebrate that you put pants on. Think about a baby that's learning how to walk for the first time, for example. We celebrate every step, every milestone, because we know how important it is to take that first step. So we need to take that concept and apply it to ourselves. These days, I have a better relationship with food compared to when I started. My behavior around it is so much better. I mean, this is how I can wrap my head around just eating 1 meal a day. I've learned to embrace voluntary hardship and delayed gratification. That is the price that I'm willing to pay every day, because I don't want to go back to my old self who used food as a crutch. That guy was very insecure and did not have a good relationship with himself. And I like how I feel about myself a lot better these days. I've learned to delay, but definitely not deprive myself of foods I love. So I don't feel bad about having a cheat meal once a week, because I love cheesecake and I will never stop eating it. I've learned that there's a time and place to really enjoy food and splurge, but doing it every night is probably not a good idea. I had to change some of my habits around it and reframe a lot of stories I kept telling myself. I had to change my behavior, and for most people, that's the hardest part. This not only goes for weight loss, by the way, but your relationship, your finances, or really anything that leads to you making progress. If you're trying to lose weight, try to get better sleep, trying to quit smoking, trying to work out, you need to be aware of your behaviors, your actions, and the stories you're telling yourself. And if you want to change, you first need to change the way you think. The next question then becomes, how are you actually supposed to eat if you want to lose weight? Because here's the thing, 80% of your body composition is determined by your diet. You can't just freestyle this part. Do you have a proven plan that you can follow? To help you with that, I want to give you a free copy of my Lean Body Blueprint. This is how I melted all the fat around my stomach without depriving myself of my favorite foods or wasting hours at the gym. It's a simple 4-step process specifically designed for busy professionals, and it's the exact same blueprint that I teach to all my private coaching clients, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. If you want to be the next success story, then download your free copy of the Lean Body Blueprint right now. There's going to be a link somewhere at the top here or in the description box. Just click on it, type in your email, and I'll send it to you right away. All right, that's all I've got. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and share it with your friends. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post a new video every week. And hey, leave a comment below if you have any questions about this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. First, a high five.